Hi, good evening. Yeah, I'm finally back in Tianjin and I'm finally ready to share about my experiences. Okay, finally ready to share about my experiences. So, if you've clicked on the video, you've found yourself in a very strange place. This channel is like really for pretty extreme China ESL kind of guys, people who are trapped here. And yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff to us, but if you're in the wrong place, just feel free to leave. Anyway, basically, my January was very interesting. What started out as a white monkey job, what I thought was going to be a white monkey job, turned out to be something completely different. And yeah, it was a big surprise to me actually, exactly what happened. So let me just tell the story nice and slowly. So in December, I was just living my life, university job, selective high school job, teaching at this company, teaching at that company, um, teaching this person, teaching that person, whatever. And then my friend, a guy from Slovakia, okay, I always get that wrong, Slovakia. He sent me a message. Now, this guy always feels like, I guess he's very grateful because there was a time when he had no work and all I did was send a WeChat contact, it wasn't like I made a decision or influenced anyone, but he's still just like that kind of guy. He's a really grateful kind of person. He's really nice person. And he basically said, well, do you want to do this job in Guangdong? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like I'm always open to stuff, because I always think I can say no at the last minute. So he's like, okay, I'll share the contact with you. And this lady's like talking to me, and she said it's at a school, and I was like, oh, okay, what age are the students and whatever, and I was thinking like maybe it would be like a camp in school holidays or something, and I wasn't too keen on it. I was more keen on just, I guess, having a rest, but then I also did want to go to the south, so I was kind of considering it. And then she said, no, there's no teaching, and I was like, what? Okay, that's sort of interesting. Like, I don't think I've really been paid. I mean, I have been paid not to teach a lot, actually. Like, I've done all kinds of different stuff. I've done a lot of proofreading recently last year. I've done a lot of editing. I did the electric car testing. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of instances where I haven't just been teaching, but I was really kind of taken aback. And she basically said, well, you've got to design the classrooms and they're promoting the school, so you've got to go to a couple of like schools and promote the school. And I was like, well, yeah, sounds like a white monkey job, sounds like a marketing job. And anyway, I agreed to do it. I thought, well, this will be fun. And free accommodation, not free flights, unfortunately, but I got paid. I got paid like, yeah, fair bit of money. I won't say the exact number, but around about $3,500 US maybe. Yeah. So pretty good money to me, and I got a free holiday out of it. So anyway, flew down there. I flew down to this city, and hard for me to get there actually. It wasn't super easy. It's a bit confusing traveling in places that you're not used to, and you got to change trains and all this kind of thing. And got into this place and got a taxi up to this place, and these two young women who I would get to know pretty well met me, and that was a good sort of first impression because I was like, they were really nice. So then I started to feel a bit like optimistic about it and a bit more positive about it, a bit because I had my hammock. Like I brought my hammock with me. I thought, well, worst case scenario, I have to sleep in the jungle or something. So I had my hammock with me, and they took me to this hotel, and it was quite a nice hotel, really nice hotel, ostensibly a 5-star hotel in it, and it was like my room wasn't huge, but it was quite comfortable. Next day I went there, met everybody. It's like a school that they're building, this huge school that's like half built, and it's in this like Israeli. I'm telling all the stories now. It's in this like Israeli. It's called the Guangdong in Israel, Guangdong Techion Israel Institute of Technology or something. That's what it's called. And so I basically just started hanging out in this office, and I got a tour of the school, and she said to me, this young lady said to me, well, can you design the classrooms? And I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, like I was, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, this is a white monkey job. They want me to pretend to design something, and then they'll sort of like just use me for marketing purposes. And so I'm just like researching all of these top schools, and I did a pretty convincing job. I'm drinking a cup of coffee. It was my first time ever working in an office. And I just looked at all these top schools and kept notes, and I had a whiteboard there, and I was sticking stuff on the whiteboard, and I thought I was giving a really good impression of like an office worker or something like that. And anyway, we went to a couple of schools, and I had to give a speech and saying how the school was great and everything like that. And then in the second week, this young girl came up to me, and she sort of said, "Oh, can you show an image of your classroom design?" Because I actually designed a classroom with like 2 students to a desk and standing teacher's desk and bookshelves and all this kind of stuff. Globe, clock, etc. And she said, "Oh, the thumbnail will probably be the classroom I designed actually, or that was actually built." Although that's giving the story away a bit, isn't it? Itchy nose for some reason. Don't know what's wrong. But anyway, that's what happened. And then basically, why is my nose itchy? What's happening? It's annoying. Why is it itchy? It's freaking me out now. I'll get my tea. I'll try rubbing it with some tea. Rubbing my nose with some tea. Well, that's maybe a bit of a relief. Yeah. So anyway, this girl, she says, "Oh, can you show like a visual representation of the classroom?" And I was like, "Well, how? Like I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not like a genius or something." And then she sort of said, "Oh, can you just do it?" And I was like, freaking out. I was like, "Well, how do I do this?" And then, because in the back of my mind, I was thinking like, what if, I can't do it and they don't pay me or something like that. So anyway, I know this guy. He's a Canadian guy. And I sent him a message. He works with computer games and stuff. And I sort of said, "Look, can you use ChatGPT?" I don't know. I didn't even know if it created images, but I just said like, "Can you create like an image or something?" I think that's how it came about. Or maybe I asked him to design the school logo or something like that. But anyway, he started providing me with these images, and I was sort of helping him to write the prompts. And I guess I've got to be fair. My prompts were sort of not. They were not super useful, but luckily this guy was willing to like use his skills to sort of make them better. And eventually we came up with all of these designs. But just having some designs like really seemed to impress this lady a lot. Like she was really happy to see these designs. And one of the designs she really liked, blue carpet, and there was a map of Antarctica, and she really liked it. So yeah, and then one day this lady, actually the young lady, said to me, "Oh, you've got to give a presentation, present it to the boss." And I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go. Wow, like what's going to happen?" And basically, like after I presented it, she basically said, buy everything." And then me and this young girl, 27-year-old girl, the assistant to this big boss, we basically bought everything with her phone. She got a special merchant discount. Spent like 10,000 RMB in about 30 minutes or something. So never experienced that before. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's quite interesting, and it was my first time ever working in an office. Now this Shantou place was really cool. There's a really great group of foreigners there. I mean, everyone's your friend on the night, I suppose. Like I had a couple of nights there at this little bar called the Tree House, like it's set in the jungle and stuff. I had a couple of beers there a few times. But I would honestly say like, yeah, every city like has a different expat scene, and the expat scene in this place I thought was pretty cool. And And not to sort of, yeah, I mean, not to sort of romanticize things too much, but I feel like when there's like a preponderance of like Americans or a whole heap of Australians or a whole heap of English people, the cultural scene or the social scene is just like totally different. Whereas in this place, in these smaller cities, you often get like a few Russians, a few Indians, people from like other developing countries like Venezuela or whatever. And it's just a different scene, it's a different environment. I feel like those people are much more friendly, and you don't want to talk about politics because their politics and our politics is like worlds apart. But talking about any other thing, very, very cool, very, very fun, and very, very interesting people. And yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed meeting all of the different teachers. Unfortunately, after my first like 2 weeks there, they were all gone because in this university, all of the foreigners they go home every holidays, so they don't stick around. But yeah, really, really good fun, really, really good times. And yeah, like, look, anyone that's watching this, like, I mean, this is kind of like probably like peak. Okay, what can I teach you, or what what did I learn from this experience? Number one, even though like you're just a teacher, there might be times like this where your experience as a teacher can pay off, and where your experience as a teacher might be valued and appreciated for something like designing a classroom, designing a school. And the other thing is, like, if you're given a mission, like, just use all your resources. I guess everyone knows this. I mean, it sounds like self-help. But yeah, like, it was my first experience ever working in an office in my whole life. And it was kind of like something to think about. Like, I was just like, whoa, you know, like you could say that being a teacher is like an office job or something. I mean, it's an indoor job, that's for sure. And I've had, you know, as a teacher, I've had like an office before and stuff like that. But yeah, met a lot of VIPs. Not going to drop any names, but went to a big wedding, met a few VIPs from the city, and yeah, quite cool, quite good people. Had a couple of VIPs visit the school as well, and again, won't drop any names, but yeah, quite cool, quite good fun. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would say, what I learned from it. I definitely want to say this, like, the South and the North, it's one country, but it's such a different environment down there. All of the trees, and not just the environment, but I feel like socially as well. Like, it's, yeah, completely different sort of environment, but in a good way. But I mean, I'd have to spend a few months there before I'd really start talking about it. I just was very much on the surface level, like, oh, they're eating this, they're eating that, their houses are like this, their houses are like that. Stuff like that. I didn't really learn a whole lot about it. And then a lot of these foreigners, this is quite funny as well, a lot of these foreigners, they all sort of say, in this place the people are like this, the people are like that. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, it's sort of like the same thing you hear all over China, but everybody thinks it's just in that place, which is quite funny. But yeah, I mean, we hear about the white monkey jobs, but sometimes the monkeys have to do a bit of work, I guess, you know, is what you would say. But yeah, really interesting experience, and I got to be like warm. I'd almost like to add air quotes to that because it wasn't super warm all the time, but it was definitely warmer than Tianjin in wintertime. Not where I am, obviously, but you know, the photo behind me, it's like in the computer screen or whatever. That is like a really quite sort of interesting part of Shantou. It's like this huge, older sort of a part. I'm not sure if it was a concession or anything. It was just the architectural style of that time period, and yeah, quite incredible because it just goes on forever. You know, this sort of vernacular architecture of like. I guess covered balconies because they have a lot of rain in the summer, and next to the shops, like column, and yeah, really quite cool, really quite interesting. The people in Chaosha, I mean, you know, it sounds like I'm not going to go on and on and on, but anyway, it was just an interesting thing, and like also I nearly met up with this guy who I not helped come to China. I think that's going a bit far, but. He contacted me through the channel, and Yeah, nearly met up with him, but hopefully we'll meet up with him this year, hopefully. And yeah, he's really happy. He's loving it, and he's really happy that he moved to China. So if you are interested in moving to China and having all of these experiences and having all of this fun, and it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. But yeah, if you're interested in moving to China and having all of this fun, having these experiences, yeah, like just send me an email, and I'll get you in contact with like good people. And just also remember, like, the people I'll put you in contact with, like, they are the best people. You know, don't get bored of the people I put you in contact with and then find other people, because if you do that, you'll end up like a couple of people like messaging me and saying, oh, you know, all these problems. You know, like the people that I work with, that I use to help my friends, to help my audience find jobs. They're really nice people. They're really good people, and yeah, very reliable people. There's only a couple of people I work with, but they're good. So please stick with them. They will find you a job if you tick the boxes, and if you even if you don't tick some of the boxes, you know, they'll try and help you find work here if you're interested in that. And yeah, I hope everybody's well. Happy New Year, happy Year of the Dragon, and yeah, hope everybody's well.